welcome to the Surf City El Salvador Longboard Championship, live from El Sunzal, as we will be getting the opportunity to crown our 2024 World Longboard Champions. As we see some arrivals there are surfers from the USA, 3 times men's World Longboard Champion Taylor Jensen, Elise Lemoine from France, Zoe Gropillon also from France, and Ben Skinner getting himself ready. I'm Sam Bleakley. Thanks for tuning in. A pleasure to have your company. I'm joined in the broadcast booth as ever by Carla Rowland Zamora from Malibu, California, and the Waxhead, Matt Janowski from Australia. Matt, it's been a great season. How special is it to be at this iconic right-hand point break of El Sunzal to crown our champions?
It's incredible. Such an honour for longboarding to be elevated into this level. But pupusas, point breaks, and smiles, the athletes absolutely love it.
And Carla, let's talk about this velvet smooth wave and why it's such a great canvas for beautiful longboarding.
Well, it really just is able to kind of stand up in those moments that we want it to for those nose rides, but then it offers a nice sweeping area to get some turns and some rail work and some tail work done. So it really has a great canvas for these athletes to really dance and show us how longboarding is properly done.
It really is an iconic coastline. Over 400 kilometers of south-facing coast, many of the best longboard waves in the world, also volcanoes, coffee, rainforests, and a vibrant local surf community. But Matt, the flavor of this wave, it really does fulfill the opportunity to really tick all those boxes with the repertoire. Use footwork to go in and out of critical nose rides and smooth flowing rail turns.
Yeah, the style, flow and grace is epitomised here, but it does have elements of some of the greatest longboard waves in the world. Little Ventura or Malibu inside section, and outside sunset, elements of Bells Beach, Makaha, Chun's Reef. These are all what the competitors are saying, and it looks good, and it's going to be a fantastic show.
And Carla, it's a fusion of waves like we just talked about. And, you know, what kind of approaches do you think that will favor? You know, the fact that you do have these slower sections, these open faces to really show your stuff.
Well, I think there's some certain athletes that are really comfortable in this wave, and partly being they've experienced it here, whether like Zoe Gropillon, who has family that lives out here, so she spent a lot of time. But then you've got someone like J.R. Esquivel, where this wave is really similar to his local break, Mona Lisa, so he could very well be a standout.
Well, there's a lot of great surfers, 8 men, 8 women going for the World Longboard Championship. But let's go down to the glass because Mitchell Salazar is with Brian Robbins for the call.
Thank you, Sam. Good morning. Yeah, so this morning we're seeing a little increase in swell. It's on the contest. It's not quite there. No high tides. It's kind of inconsistent. I think that's really big. Just making sure spare rotation, lots of waves to ride.
There we go. So, call for the day. It looks as if we won't be running today, Carla and Matt. So, of course, what impact does that have on the surfers, knowing that we have this waiting period from the 9th through to the 13th? It's a one-day winner-takes-all format. Now things will be on hold.
Oh, I think some recovery for some of these surfers. A lot of warm-up waves, a lot of people really trying to understand the little subtleties that this wave has presented. There's more sand on the reef than normal as well, so they've been free surfing a lot. I think massaging out the legs, taking it easy, and hey, it might be a free lineup for us to get a few waves, Sam.
Absolutely. But with that, Carla, I think it's going to be nice to have a look at the surf line forecasts, knowing that we've got 9th through 13th to use that whole day, and the fact that we really do have to use one day, it's important to pick the best day in the forecast.
Yeah, and the surfers obviously want the best day. We want the best day. It's going to create the most excitement, obviously. We're excited. We were really hoping that today would be the day, but it's looking like hopefully tomorrow we have a chance, so I'll be crossing fingers that we'll be able to lock it in.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a couple of medium-sized days in the next couple of days, a possibility of a swell increase to the latter stage of the forecast. But of course, Matt, wind is a big factor, and tide, and we really want to make sure that when we have those final matches for the top seeds, we really maximise the good wind conditions and good tide conditions.
And 12 to 18 second period at different points throughout the next 5-day waiting period. So it'll be interesting to see how that tide and that lower period and that increased period reacts. But it's a right-hand point break. It's not going to be closing out, and it's relatively consistent throughout the whole year, so we're guaranteed waves.
And Carla, the great thing is a lot of these 8 surfers on the men's side and the women's side, they've all got good track records here. They competed last year at Surf City El Salvador, and they've also had the opportunity to travel and train. A lot of the surfers have been here for at least 4 days. What's the vibe like amongst the surfers? You know, how hungry are they to win a world championship?
I think they're all pretty hungry. Obviously, maybe some might have a little bit more hunger than others, being that we have a few repeat title holders that are trying to cinch that title again. But we have some that have never won a world title, and they've just narrowly become close. So it's going to be a lot of fire. I think everyone's getting along really well, though, that all said. And people are just stoked to put the jersey on and get riding.
And with that, let's have a look at the men's bracket and really get a sense of who those top seeds are and that kicking off title match, Matt. I mean, it's a really big one to start things out.
Oh, there's some great matchups, and I just have a look at that. As you said yesterday, Sam, you get these like little tingles and you have a look at the lineup there, and the titans of our longboard industry matching up against rookies, matching up against the youngsters. Anyone could take it, including Stevie Sawyer.
And Carla, let's switch attention to the women's bracket. Of course, our #1 seed, Soleil Erico. But who do you think is going to have the momentum coming from that all-Hawaiian matchup in that first match with Sophia Colhane, Khaleesi Keleopaha, and Honolulu Bloomfield?
Look, we start off with a really strong and tough first match with all the Hawaiians. And there's no getting away from the fact that there's a lot of surfing that has to be done if you're in that first match. So if they've done their leg day, if they've done their cardio, they're going to be able to make it up all the way to Soleil and really put the pressure, hopefully, on Soleil.
And Matt, what is the advantage of being #1 seed in that best-of-3 title match, waiting for surfers to meet you perhaps in the afternoon at the end of a long day for some of those surfers who may have already surfed 5 times?
Obviously, just the lack of energy output, because you're going to be surfing after the heat of the middle of the day. Your legs will be fresh, and you'll really understand the judging patterns throughout the day. Although the criteria remains the same, we do see those little patterns highlighting whether it's the last year, the drop knee wraps of Johnny the Ripper caught a lot of people off by surprise, or it could be the critical hang tens. We'll see what the waves do on the day.
Well, there's 8 surfers in contention for the men's, 8 for the women's, but it's Taylor Jensen and Soleil Erico who are our #1 seeds, and we're going to find out more about those surfers very soon. Stay with us after this short break. Welcome back to the Surf City El Salvador Longboard Championship, live from El Sunzal on day 1 of our waiting period to crown our 2024 World Longboard Champion for the men. And for the women, we have a waiting period between 9 and 13 of October. I'm Sam Blickley, joined in the booth by Carla Rowland Zamora and the wax head, Matt. Of course, we're not running today, but we've got a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, yeah. We had the practice runs yesterday and another practice run now for the surfers. But as we said earlier, the pupusas are flowing, the point breaks are breaking, and it's not just one. There's actually 5 waves within a short drive here, so there's plenty of action.
And somebody who is lining up for potentially her 4th World Longboard Championship, Soleil Erico, based in Malibu, California, is our #1 seed. Let's find out a little bit more about her.
Yeah, it all started when we moved to Kauai, and I'd see all of the girls that were my age surfing, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Pine trees in Honolulu, that's where we lived, and I'd just look out there and see beautiful sandbar. My dad just took me out right where we lived, and we just went out and I did it, and I loved it ever since. Oh, this is so old. Yeah, it was just like my first legit longboard. I was doing longboarding and shortboarding, but then I really just started doing longboarding when I was 13. I still love shortboarding, but longboarding, I felt more connected to it.
When I met her at 13, she said, I want to be the youngest world champ ever. I kind of looked at this little 13-year-old girl and I was like, you're crazy.
2018 World Longboard Champion goes to Swell.
I just started crying, like bawling. Like I've never really cried like that before in a long time.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, this is insane. I just can't even believe it.
And she accomplished her goal, which is like, that's huge.
A few days later, I went out and surfed Malibu, and I got like tons of congratulatory, comments, because like Malibu is my hometown, and yeah, they're just so supportive, and just like thankful to have them for sure.
Welcome back, and of course that was a special moment when Soleil Erico won her maiden World Longboard Championship in 2018 in Taiwan, and then she reiterated that, backing that up with 2 consecutive World Longboard Championship in Malibu, California. She's our reigning world champion. She won it the previous year. And Carla, talk about her involvement style of longboarding, that combination of critical lifting nose rise in a very dynamic down carve turn.
Well, she's had some really wonderful coaches over the years that have helped kind of her build that repertoire of power, speed, flow, and connecting those maneuvers and getting those critical nose rides right in the pocket, but then following it out with power and using that speed to bring it back into the pocket and using the rail. And she just has a lot of dynamics to her surfing, so it's really no wonder why she's going for another world title.
And of course, it's Velvet Smooth. And Matt, talking of Velvet Smooth, maturing with age, still relevant, going for his 4th world championship. It's Taylor Jensen, also from California. How important is his run going to be here at El Sunzal?
I mean, just to prove to himself, as he said as well to us in the leading up to this day, was how important it's been for him to show his kids what a role model he can be and what it's like to really achieve your dreams and have a goal and be able to put your best foot forward in life and achieve that. So it doesn't seem like he's carrying too much pressure. Although he's that #1 seed, he's doing the best surfing that we've ever seen him doing. He's looking lethal, and I think the combination of that style, flow and grace, he's slowed him down a little bit, but what we've seen is an increase in his nose rides, better nose riding, and it's equating to better results.
And he was fantastic, taking the win in Bells Beach, and Carla backing that up in Huntington. You were on the sand watching that. He knows that wave very well, and he really shone.
Well, it doesn't matter how old you are, how long you've been on the tour. A win is a win, and he was so thrilled, you could tell, to get that win. And I know he's feeling the fire coming into El Salvador and hoping to make a repeat.
And here's a question for you, Matt. Who could be a key challenger for Taylor? He's our top seed. Yes, there's 7 other people who could win the World Longboard Championship, but in your heart, who do you feel is the big threat?
I feel like it's going to be the unpredictability, and I look at the names of Stevie Sawyer, I look at John Michael Van Hohenstein and J.R. Esquivel. Those are 3 guys who have got the stamina and the creativity, and you just don't know what they're going to bring. But Taylor, he's well seasoned against Caniella, Kai Salas and Ben Skinner. He knows he's got their card, but Chase Leader, another one as well, Goofy Footer. These guys could just show up the unpredictability and maybe catch him off guard.
And as you can see, tuning in around the world, that we kick off with that match 1. The winner meets Kai Salas and Ben Skinner in match 2. The winner of that goes on to surfer on surfer match 3 against J.R. Esquivel. Then it's on to match 4, John Michael Van Hohenstein meeting potentially who will win that, will go on to a best of 3 against Taylor Jensen, who's going for his 4th World Longboard Championship. So much to play for, Carla.
It's really exciting, and all of us have been kind of itching for it to happen. But as you said, we're going to be waiting. We're on hold. You can see the French girls there chatting with Ben Skinner. Everybody kind of prepping. But I know the athletes are, I think, happy to wait one more day to see how it gets better throughout the week. It's going to be a fantastic show.
Some characters on your screen there: Ben Skinner, Zoe, Elise. We're going to learn more about them very soon. Stay with us, because we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to the Surf City El Salvador Longboard Championship, as you get to see the drone clip of our setup here. The call for the day is that we will not be running, we will not be crowning our World Longboard Champions for 2024, but we have through 9th to 13th of October as our waiting period, so we'll be here bright and early, 7 a.m. local time tomorrow morning to make the call. But we've got a lot more to continue to celebrate, as myself, Sam Bleakley, gets to talk about longboarding with a couple of longboarders, of course, you guys still at the top of your game. I mean, you'd like to be out there having a few waves as well. Tell me, Carla, how special it is to surf this wave. You got a few good ones yesterday.
I got a couple. I snuck a few on the inside, and it's really special to be out here. El Salvador and Surf City in general is just such a hot spot for surfing, whether you're on a longboard, a mid-length, or a shortboard. There's so much going on here, and there's tons of facilities. It's exciting to be here, especially right on the heels of Abu Dhabi. Now we're here in El Salvador. It's just kind of, don't pinch me. I'll keep dreaming.
And Matt, as we look at the women's bracket, talk about some of the different approaches of these women and how it matches up against their track record here at El Sunzal.
Well, look at the Hawaiians in that first matchup. I mean, this really is very similar to what you see at Small Sunset Beach or Chun's Reef. No surprise that we've got those Hawaiians here, and they're going to go, that's going to be a great battle. But Natsumi, she surfed here in previous events. Zoe Gopion, we talked about her local attachment. But Alice, she's becoming a titan. She doesn't get nervous. She's the fiercest in the free surfs, and she just doesn't fall off. Rachel Tilley, the board suited to the conditions. She's got a great shaper and a great designer, but Sole Errico connected to those right-hand point breaks. Everyone's got their own little elements. Sophistication, you've got that critical nature of nose rides, but then you've got all of these women can surf power as well.
And Carla, the lone goofy footer in that mix of 8 surfers, Khalees Kaleopaha, talk about her prowess, you know, and the velvet smooth approach that she really demonstrates.
She really does have one of the smoothest styles on tour, in my opinion. She really has this grace and this dance-like ability, both in just her physique, the way her arms and her legs carry her through, and just her approach tends to be just rather delicate and gentle. And you know, but she's from Hawaii. She's used to surfing waves with some power. So she's absolutely somebody that's going to get in the mix there. And as we've said, we saw that all Hawaiian first matchup. So it's kind of anybody's go. We know Hano has a lot of experience here, but I believe Sophia won last year.
Absolutely. But somebody who moved up the seeding after her win in Abu Dhabi was Elise Lemoine from originally Reunion Island, now based in southwest France. And Matt, she was on fire in the basin in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, yeah, she was just so dedicated and committed. She fell once on her final, but she'd already locked in some excellent range scores. And she just looked, honestly, like the winner from the outset. She was so consistent.
And Carla, there was an aggression in those middle sections of the rides that really had that attacking element that gave her the edge.
Yeah, and having to get through kind of those certain sections that were not quite barreling, but wanting to barrel, and she definitely attacked them aggressively, and then giving us that kind of hood ornament pose on our nose rides and finishing them off with nice finishing turns there. It was definitely a big win for Elise.
And it was a special moment, sharing the final with her fellow countrywoman Zoe Gropion. And of course, Zoe, a regular here at El Sunzal, her sister married to an El Salvadorian, so she gets to train at this spot very often. And for Elise, the fact that she rides those Portuguese-built Luffy Luis Bento boards. Of course, Luffy is here watching Elise, but another iconic shaper who's also going for his World Longboard Championship is Ben Skinner. And Mitchell Salazar is down on the glass with Skin Dog.
And he's looked good so far in the practice session, Sam. Ben, once again, congratulations for qualifying for this event. Second year in a row you've been able to do it. You got your jersey in hand. You want to show off that bad boy right there with his name on the back of it too, Sam. So, Ben, looking for your first World Longboard Championship at this iconic venue. What would it mean for you to be able to do it right here where your kid's also been successful at other events too?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a real privilege to be here. Full stop, with the best 8 men and women in the world. I feel really proud of myself to even have made this. It's been a tough year, but I'm really excited. You know, anything can happen on the final day. I think that's what's exciting about this format. I really enjoyed Malibu. Once you get on a roll, it's a real nice feeling to just keep surfing, and I'm excited to come from the back and challenge again. You know, it's an exciting prospect.
And we're off for today. Waves look real fun. You're going to have your practice session later on today. But just looking at the forecast, what kind of seems to be sticking out for you?
Well, I mean, this is one of the most consistent places on the planet, really. I've never been anywhere where it's been this consistent every day. The main factors really are the weather, the winds. We get a lot of close kind of like storms, like kind of fronts that come through. And then over the next couple of days, that might be a problem. But we're excited because towards the end it's looking really good. We got a nice south swell coming. The weather seems to calm down, and yeah, so we'll see what happens. But take it day by day. Wake up every morning and see.
This is an honest question. When you win your World Longboard Championship, who's going to be able to be capable of lifting you up the beach here, Ben?
Well, you know, hopefully that happens, but we'll see. I mean, it'd be great if you were here, Mitch.
Yeah. I'll be around.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, we got to just take it heat by heat. I just want to have fun and enjoy myself. As I said, we've worked really hard to even be here in this moment, so just go and have fun and enjoy being here and surfing. And yeah, thanks to everyone at home and all my sponsors that have helped support me through the year, and everyone who continues to support us in the world of longboarding. We appreciate you a lot. Thank you.
Surfer, shaper, father, congratulations. Sam, he's looking for his first one here in El Sunzal.
Absolutely, as humble as ever. Great to hear from him, Mitch. Thanks so much. That was excellent. And of course, Ben Skinner, one of those surfers who often goes up into the nines, and that can really give you the edge. And he comes off the back of getting a third here in Surf City last year at this event.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so solid. He does wear his heart on his sleeve. He's super passionate. He'll often show emotion. And one of the few surfers who'll actually, in the longboard world, that'll claim their maneuvers. But it's not more so trying to ham it up for the judges. It's that expression that comes out. And that's what we love about Ben Skinner.
And we talk about those surfers going up into the nines. Carla, in the women's bracket this season, who have been the standouts, the surfers for you who have pushed those near-perfect 10-point rides?
Well, obviously, Elise scored really high in Abu Dhabi and wowing the judges with her maneuvers. I really am liking what I saw from Rachel Tilley. I think Rachel is somebody that's able to put some really high scores out there. She's able to connect and really use the board from nose to tail well. And I really like Natsumi Teoka. She's been on fire this year. She's had some career highs. So really, it's anybody's game.
It's anybody's game. Our top seeds are Soleil Erica on the women's side, Taylor Jensen on the men's side, but there's 7 over surfers on each side who could take the World Longboard Championship. Stay tuned tomorrow. We'll be back for the call at the Surf City El Salvador Longboard Championship.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.